in 3, 2, 1. We're live.
We're alive. Whee! Folks,
Yay.
good morning. Welcome to Monday morning on August 10th, and hopefully you're having a great week. Weather's been kind of sweet at this end if we dodge the thunderstorms, but otherwise it's really beautiful weather out there today. If you're in the Ottawa Valley, I'm going to share some information. And first off, welcome to Phoenix Business Exchange Bell's Corners Edition. Kind of cool stuff. Tony's rubbing his hands. He's going to give us some warmth there and get us all set up and squared away. If you are a member of Phoenix, remember to send your stats into Tony because this is the first business week that we're meeting. Okay, a couple of quick highlights. This Friday is the golf tournament, so if you haven't signed up, please do so. And more details to follow in the chat. Right now, I'm going to swing us over to the what's happening on the website, and the website is pbx.ca. If you're looking in and want to come visit us and come join us for a trial run and get to know the community, come on in. You'll see some red dots here, or red blocks. Monday morning Bell's Corners is right here. East End edition is on Wednesday, and Thursday is the South End group. August 25th, we have an after hours group. And speaking of the after hours group, Penny Lee Prevost is the member of the week. Penny Lee shares that particular group. So click on here. She can get you hitched and get you ditched. What I'm talking about, she handles the marriage side, or if you need to have someone, they're going on to the great beyond, right? Into the next layer of life. She can help you in that space. She can officiate both events. Or she can help you stay healthy and keep your exercise moving around. She does the a fitness session that she can offer. Upcoming events, click here. And if you're a member, your events get promoted within the group and outward to the universe at large. Canada Growth Network, we're meeting today at 1 p.m. Eastern. John Ray is our guest speaker, and he is going to be talking about getting your pricing right. He's based out of the U.S. So free to attend. And then we have East Trade Winds tomorrow morning at 8 to 9 Eastern. You can come on in. I'll give you some more details on who's speaking tomorrow. Bell's Corners group is meeting in person next Monday. Now you can join us on Zoom. It starts at 7:30 though. It starts at 7:30, so half hour earlier. You can join us and have a great breakfast, or just come on in and just in a relaxed manner, especially if you're not nearby. Here's someone talking today and going, I want to know more about that person. There's a QR directory for all the members. Click that and you should be able to find out a resource that's handy in the space, whether it's real estate, mortgages, brakes, cars, social media, or you just need a tuning in a good way with a tuning fork. So come on into that space, apply here button. Oh, look at that, the e-cards. We've had 4,229 connections. What's an e-card? Well, the QR code over my shoulder. Everybody gets one. Everybody gets a link. And what happens is you can leverage that link to help your clients find you faster, reduce the friction. We've had over $5 million worth of business since 2016 conducted between members. So over $5 million worth of transactions. Year to date is $35,553 in transactions. And that's why we're just going to update. The information that we're sharing here with Tony, when we say, hey, send your stats in, that's where it kind of goes and that's where it accumulates. It just shows the yield of being part of the networking group. It's one of the other advantages of being here. And Tony is going to give us a little educational minute here. And Tony, over to you, sir.
Okay, so we're going to get off of the share, I guess. Yeah, okay, great. Thank you, Bernie. Yeah, I wanted to talk today a little bit about what you tolerate. I had a birthday party on the weekend, and all the family got together, and we were talking about different businesses that we're in. And when I had told them that things are really busy for myself, and they were very puzzled as say, "Wow, that is really doing well." And for me, it isn't the boasting or anything else. It was just that what I don't tolerate anything much lower than it is. Jim Rohn says that the disrespect that you tolerate means that more disrespect is coming. The habits that you ignore that are not going well for you. This could be the habit of, the sales are down. Oh, well, that's all there is to it. In other words, you're tolerating lower sales, so that's why it more comes into your experience. We talked last week about mopping the floor or doing something other than just focusing on whatever that is slow, whatever that's declining, and just work on something else. I always have about 5 projects going at the same time because as I'm doing one of them, I'll peter out whatever I'm being channeled or whatever information that's there, and it doesn't go anywhere, sort of stagnates. Well, then I go on to another project. And as I'm doing that, I think of, I got to go back to this one because something else has come up. So by just working on one thing, and then if what they call it a writer's block, or they call it, well, whatever they want to label it as, that's something that I don't tolerate. As soon as water stagnates, it immediately starts rotting. It immediately starts coming with algae. It immediately starts coming with, and it starts to lose its source. I read an article recently about water. As long as water is moving, it is connected to source energy. It's connected to the earth. That's why it's so healthy. It's drinkable. But as soon as water stagnates over one season, it could become toxic if you drink it. And it's full of parasites and everything else that grows in there. So we are made to move. We are made to do those things that move us forward. Relationships that you tolerate that isn't that great. Business relationships that are constantly very challenging. Now, sometimes we don't have a choice. If you have a partner or if you have somebody contractually that you have to deal with, you don't have a lot of choice there. But there is different ways that you could tolerate whatever that's going on between the two of you. Silence is consent. When people just see what's going on, the slower sales or the way that the clients are complaining about your price, if you're silent about that, you're consenting to what they're saying. So what usually happens is more people are saying, your prices are a little high, and then other people are saying they're very low. More than likely, they are low because the people that are saying that it's too expensive and it's not that expensive means they want it for free anyway. And by the way, they still wouldn't be happy. So what you accept defines the minimum that you are willing to live with. And that's the idea here is if you have this constant moving forward energy, and you won't tolerate anything less. And it's not a surprise when you start hitting 10, 12 clients a week. Then to some people that's like, wow, how do you do that? I get 2 clients a month. I said, oh, okay, that never comes into my energy. So meaning you're able to take on that kind of a business. So it's always in the mind and in the energy first, then it happens. Okay, back to you, Bernie.
Tony, thank you so much. And we're live on LinkedIn. And that is the connection to work with. And we'll do the fickle finger of fate and circle around. And we're going to start off with Jacqueline and then go to Eric. Jacqueline, over to you.
Oh, good. I'm unmuted because I needed to take that long, deep breath. I did need to lift my shoulders, take them back, release them down. And as I extend my arms, I am so proud of all of us being here. But even more so, I'm with a mortgage company that has decided that women have things to say. Shocked? I'm not. They've put together this extraordinary event that is suggesting that women are pretty awesome, and it is women leaders event, and it's happening. We're celebrating in September. Looking forward to that. And I am tickled pink because I had a client decide that it was a good idea to have a pre-approval. I'm hoping that it was a collective. It's good to have a pre-approval. The client decided, first-time client, first-time home buyer client, decided it would be great not just to buy a single unit. Why don't I buy a triplex? You can do that as a first-time home buyer. Client decided that that would be spectacular because the money coming in for rent is going to pay for the mortgage and the taxes and her vacations. Decided that that would make sense. Worked with a realtor like Kelly to get her to that place. The client is in pre-funding mode, which means the lender is saying we've got a day or two before you get to take the keys. Tickled pink. And that's what I do when I lift my shoulders, take them back, drop them down. My job is to help you find those answers, to find the journey. When you're looking for strategies for your mortgage money, my goodness, you need to contact your mortgage honey. But I have a quick joke, just in case. Why was the picture sent to jail? It was framed. Okay, pot of jokes. No more jokes.
Jacqueline, thank you so much. I now have another dad joke in the repertoire. There we go. Uh, so, quick reminder for next Monday. The link is there if you're going to come in by Zoom. And it's at Hive. And over to Eric, and then we will go to Kat. Go ahead, Eric.
Thank you, Bernie. Eric Senego from Cote and Associate Professional Corporation. We are accountants and management consultants. We're located in 8 different offices across Canada and 3 in the US. We specialize in people who have, I would say, difficult taxes. But difficult taxes is all of the people who are self-employed, all of the people who are on commission, all of the people who have income reported to the government that they haven't reported yet. That means when you do a self-employed tax return, the government has not seen that information yet. Whereas when you're an employee or you get a T4 or a T4A, the government knows that before you do your taxes because your employer has sent that to them by February 28th. So when you send your information as a self-employed to the government, it usually is reviewed by a computer, and the computer compares you to your own kind. And if the statistics for you are not the same as your own kind, they send you a letter. And that's when you come to us. And that's when we review your taxes and things like that. You think you're getting audited, but you're not getting audited. You're just getting a letter. Audited means not responding to the letter, the amount going to collections and not paying the amount, and then you get into trouble with the CRA. So that's a self-employed. The other part of the year, you know, the June 1st to February 20th part of the year, I do corporate tax returns, financial statements, and I do a lot of data recording. Yesterday, I was at the cottage at 7 o'clock in the morning. I left the cottage. I came here. I was here at 10:30, and from 10:30 to 11 p.m., I finished a year end of someone who does not want to have anybody else but me do their numbers. Right. So I have 2 or 3 clients like that, and they pay for it. You know, I mean, they pay for it. I mean, that company will pay a substantial fee because you don't take me out of the cottage at 10 o'clock in the morning and make me drive here and then work the whole day, you know, to 11 p.m. So that's and they know it. So we do 2 or 3 people like that that cannot be sent to bookkeepers, that cannot be done, you know, in a normal course of business. If you know anybody like that, we don't want to know them because we already have 2 or 3 people like that. So my time is taken up with those 3 people. 613-254-7310. We bring reason to numbers and numbers to reason.
Eric, thank you. And wow, from the cottage back. Yes, that's triple time. East Trade Winds. Tomorrow's Christopher Carter. He actually deals with a platform called SAP, and he runs a company that helps support that. He doesn't run SAP. He runs a company that helps support SAP inside large enterprise spaces, and it's Apoyo. And come on in and listen to have a chat. And Kat, over to you, ma'am.
Hi, everybody. So I wasn't sure what to say this morning, and then Eric just said something that suddenly gave me a light bulb moment. So Eric said something that did not resonate with me because I didn't understand it. So he talked about the computer comparing everybody to their own kind. And I'm going, well, we're all humans. Of course, it compares humans with humans. I'm going to hazard a guess that is not what Eric meant. So my question to you is not what does Eric mean, but when you're marketing your business, whether it's social media, emails, in-person, flyers, whatever, do people know what you're talking about? Or do people sit there going, I don't know what that means? Because some of those people who don't know will ask the question, what are you talking about? Other people will go, do you know what? I don't understand. I'm moving past that business. I'll find somebody who speaks a language I understand. So please don't kind of assume everybody knows what you mean. Confirm that people know what your business is, write in plain English, and don't say things people don't get. That's kind of all I got today. And I'm sorry if that was lecture.
Kat, thank you very much. And nice promo is the golf tournament. The details are in the chat, and so's the poster. Mr. Sam, what up, man?
Thank you, Bernie. Good morning, everyone. Sam Sturs, ConnectedCars.ca. I am still at our cottage in Port Stanley, enjoying the weather down here. Mind you, it's raining this morning. I don't know if it's raining in Ottawa right now, but it's raining here. But it's supposed to clear up and be a nice afternoon. Sam Sturs, Connected Cars. Hopefully my contact information, got the logo anyway in the chat. Mouse is messing up again this morning. Anyway, dash cameras are my main thing. In fact, I installed a newer one in my nephew's car while we were at the cottage here last week. It's a voice-activated dash camera, so it can actually take pictures and things like that from just your voice telling it to do things like that. Turn on, turn off, all kinds of interesting stuff like that. If you're interested in something like that, let me know. It's not very expensive. I think it's around $300 for the unit itself, and then my installation, of course, on top of that. Besides that, this days, let's see, it's summertime still, and when I get back to Ottawa, I'll still be doing and offering the car cleaning services that I do in the summertime before fall. So if you know someone or your car looks like a mess and you want someone to clean it up for you, I do that service as well. BAMs wise, I have no BAMs because I'm still at the cottage, but once I get back in the swing of things, I should have a few, including getting Tony's dash camera back to her son. That's it for me. Sam Sturs, ConnectedCars.ca. Today's mobile electronics without the cost of a vehicle, and a heck of a lot more.
Sam, thank you so much. Unfortunately, Carol Lee couldn't make it today, so I've just put her contact details in the chat. And if you don't know who Carol Lee Wiley is, she is the director CEO of Canada Food Cupboard. She helps run a food cupboard that's in the West End here in the Canada area. Go figure, the name should say it all. And she does food distribution for folks that are in need, and also clothing, etc. Donations much appreciated. Cash is always king. But if you have food supplies, they'll take that too. And if you have excess in food. And what else to tell you? Well, she's the reason we're part of a golf tournament on this coming Friday. And I'm going to swing the mic over to Tony. And Tony, tell us a story.
Thanks a lot, Bernie. Yeah, looking forward to the golf tournament this Friday. It's been great. I'm going to make a couple of calls today. See, people are on the fence about going, but it's it's going to be a good time. If they want to be on my team, they don't even have to have clubs. They can use mine. So hi everybody, Tony Jennis from Higher Self. I'm the spirit guy of the group. I specialize in people not feeling that great emotionally or mentally. If they're feeling off, I'm getting a lot of people now that there's stress in going back to work. Maybe they were on stress leave or something. And I work with PTSD, high stress, being overwhelmed, that kind of thing. And I do it through tuning forks that have the special frequencies that actually calm the body. I have a selection of over 75 tuning forks, but you don't need that many. I normally use the normal 6 to 8, but the other ones are for specific reasons and specific flow that we want to bring to the body. So it's just like a massage, but there's no touch. It's just I work in the auric field, our field around us, anywhere between 2 inches and 3 feet from your body is where everything happens. It happens there first, including heart attacks. That it comes into your body about 6 months before you actually physically have one. So if you have a tuning session somewhere in there, it actually will delay that quite substantially. The ongoing business with Susan McGarry, did some business with her, and Eric Sinego is doing our taxes for Phoenix and our other companies. Josh, I had some problems with some emails. Somehow there was a little issue with our emails going out. It kept bouncing back because there was some other things going on, but I think it's rectified now. The Penny Lee had a BAM with her, and this Friday is her potluck event every second Friday on the month. So I'll be probably going to there to see people in person. It's always a joy for me to see people in person. And Bernie, I went to your East Trade Winds before we went on holidays or this last week, and so ongoing appearances there as well. So okay, go back to you, Bernie.
Tony, thank you so much. And next quick promo is all about Kat Hurd, a wonderful human being. And you know what? She can help translate your business speak into the general population speak, and that is quite the tact, because that's what's going to help resonate with other people, especially if they don't know you. I'm going to share a screen, and it's going to be Dr. Shane Bayless having a chat. I'm just going to make sure I share sound. There we go. Otherwise, he'll just look like another pretty face on the scoreboard here. And bear with me as I just work this out.
So we're here at the lake, and I was just thinking about some of my older patients who have a hard time bringing their head back or getting that neck extension because they got their head forward a lot of times. Even when they're walking, they're looking down at their feet. Sometimes it's a thing of being fearful of falling, or they're looking down so that they know what they're possibly going to fall over or stumble over if there's a step or a rock, those types of things. And it's always a challenge to get them to bring their head back and hold it there because it's just not comfortable. Now, when we're doing swimming, people often do breaststroke. When you're doing breaststroke, you'll often see you got to keep your head above water. You're doing that extension, so you're getting that head back, right, when they're doing the breaststroke. So I was thinking, hey, why not get them to do the breaststroke? I love swimming rehab. It's great for shoulders. It's great for a lot of, swellings, that type of thing. And now it's great for neck extension as well. So get your patients going to the local pool, going to the lake, the beach, even if they have a big enough, hot tub or bath, get them in that, just doing some of that exercise, and they'll naturally kind of look like they're getting the head back extended and getting that extension that they're not getting on a daily basis. Hopefully that'll help with the posture, give better messaging to the brain, and help relieve some of those muscles that are being contracted when their head is forward. Hope that helps, guys. Let's start helping our patients. Take care. Remember, if you're not getting results, come see us.
And that's Shane's story. And by the way, if you can't make a session, do a pre-record. What better way to share that information, right? Otherwise, it's me too, an interpretive dance talking about you. I don't dance so good some days. Speaking of myself, hey, podcasting. So if you helps promote businesses, helps promote your SEO rankings, your AEO rankings. It's a whole cornucopia of three-letter codes there that just make you more findable. That's what podcasts can do. Also involved with the Profit 10. There's a little 5-minute test you can take, and it's yes, no, and what are your blind spots in your business? Take a peek at it. East Trade Winds, you'll see a thing that's typed in easttradewinds.com. Go on in and check and register for East Trade Winds. And blog.knackforbusiness.com. You can see some of our speakers of recent late, both East Trade Winds, Canada Growth Network, and Knack for Business. Now, without much more ado, I'm going to swing the mic over to Mademoiselle Kelly, or Madame Kelly, depending on how you want that to roll.
Yes, I guess it's Madame now.
Yeah.
I honestly keep forgetting.
Don't
I
forget too
keep
long.
Yeah, well, I'll get used to it, I'm sure. The first time I called him my husband, I was like, oh, hi, husband. Oh, that word came out of my mouth. So odd. Anyhow, thank you for Tony's dying. Thank you and good morning, everyone. And thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak today. My name is Kelly Harrigan. I am your resident real estate agent. And I'm very delighted to be here. I absolutely love what I do. And the feedback I get from my clients is it shows, it comes out in my work. So I love chatting and I love educating and I love helping people make the best decisions for them. And I love that, speaking of interpretive dance, Bernie, that interpretive dance of the negotiation process, it really is quite, it's an art. I often tell my clients real estate is a science and it's an art form, and we have to walk both ledges, sometimes simultaneously. So today I'd like to chat a little bit about the last time I presented. We talked about some of the mistakes that sellers make that are costing them big bucks when they're presenting and selling their home. I'm going to flip the script. We're going to talk about buyers today. So particularly in the Ottawa market, there are a lot of changes that have transpired. There's a lot more information available to buyers. I'm sure Jacqueline can attest to the first-time home buyers and the first-time buyers have a lot more questions. There are a lot more sources of education, of information, and processes, and AI is helping all of us up the ante when it comes to information access, and information sourcing. I personally think it's a great thing. The more you know, the more information you have, the better informed choices you may make. However, that's going to be one of the topics we discuss on mistakes that first-time home buyers particularly, but home buyers are making. Now, Ottawa is still a quite balanced market, meaning there's sort of an average ebb and flow of items for sale versus buyers purchasing those items. Condos, townhomes, detached, desirable neighborhoods, entry point, budget-friendly neighborhoods, relatively balanced across all sectors, which is great. But sometimes with all of the information that buyers have, they get some of the signaling and some of the approach wrong, which is why you really need to trust an experienced real estate professional to guide you through the process. I've seen on forums people saying, well, why do I need an agent anyway? This is why. I'm going to explain it to you very clearly. One mistake I have seen time and again, not just with my first-time home buyers, but with seasoned buyers as well, is, well, because of the market, let's lowball. I get it. I understand the desire and the impulse to save money. And then here's their list of like, this one sold for this much, and this one sold for this much, and this one, so we should sell for that much. I have to pause you right there. I see, I understand, and I get it. And you're not mistaken. Those are actually true statistics. Those are absolutely certain. However, it's not just about recent comparable sales. There's a lot of factors that we need to consider, which is why your trusted real estate professional should be running very comprehensive statistics and data analysis, looking at more than just the price. We're looking at the current competing listings. We're looking at the days on the market. We're looking at the conditions of your subject property, the one that you're actually looking to buy. What are the conditions on that? Someone's going to see a crack, a buyer's going to see a crack in, I don't know, the molding on the floor and say, oh, well, you know, that's a $5,000 repair. We're going to knock $5,000 off that price. Okay, I hear you. Let's play it out. Oh, and you know, I don't like this kitchen. I have to renovate it. That's 20,000. So we're going to offer $30,000 below what they're hoping for. Okay. What a lot of buyers don't realize is that the seller does not have to entertain their offer at all. Remember, when you're selling your home, you've put your time, your energy, your money, your resources, your blood, sweat, and tears, and your memories are in this house, oftentimes for residential sales. And for a seller to be presented with an offer that is about $30,000 below, and then they've put their agent in the position to explain, well, there's that crack in the molding and they don't like the kitchen. So this is the rationale behind our offer. And then the seller's agent has to take that information back to the buyers. It often doesn't go very well. And I'm not discouraging people from making a very well-informed, lower than presented offer. That is not what I'm recommending in this scenario. What I'm recommending is let's assume that the home is priced well. There's always room for negotiation. So, you know, give and take $5,000 or $10,000. That's a reasonable wiggle room area for most transactions that are priced well. However, whenever the buyer is taking all of their Claude information and realtor.ca and all of this information from various sources and not looking at the total picture, not looking at some, you know, the actual value of the renovations that have been conducted in the home. Sure, they don't like the kitchen, but did you notice that they've redone all of the insulation in the roof, and they actually have brand new shingles on and new eaves troughing? We have to look at it in a very balanced way. So oftentimes I will see buyers flex their flex a little too hard and assume they have all this leverage because they want to sell it, don't they? They do, but they want to sell it for the right price to the right client. So part of the next mistake that buyers make is forgetting that there is an undefinable element of goodwill that I find necessary in all transactions. You don't have to be best friends. You don't have to go to dinner together, but you want to make sure that the things that you're requesting and discussing and negotiating are reasonable and understandable, meaning they are able to understand why you're requesting this. Sometimes actually buyers want context. Let's say, sellers want context. So let's say you are a buyer, we've settled on a price, we're good to go, but you request an extra visit and you want so an extra so typically for a purchase you'll get 2 or 3 pre-acquisition home visits. So you get to come a couple times, take your measurements, take your photos, figure out your decor, test the appliances, things like that. And you have an extra request. You need to come in one more time for something. The seller's probably going to want to know why. Not because they're skeptical, but they want to understand the process that they're engaged in as well. You're both at the same table. You're both sitting in the same process. You're just on other sides. So you need to have that good communication via your agents to help both parties understand what is unfolding. Because when people are uncertain, oftentimes they'll get a little bit protective of themselves and a little bit reluctant to go along with the ride. So if you want another access visit, okay, cool. Let's talk about why. You forgot to, you have a furniture piece that you don't know if it's going to fit down the stairs. Great. Let's figure that out. We can work that out together, and we can absolutely talk to the seller. And probably, I don't see it being a problem. You never know. They want all the furniture in the house. Okay. The seller's going to want to understand why, and oftentimes there's going to be a monetary value associated with that the seller's going to request. So I bought all of my stuff at, I don't know, Lazy Boy. This vibrating recliner is $2,000 and you want it. Okay. why don't I part with it for $1,000? That's an extra top up that the seller's going to request the buyer. But oftentimes we've seen buyers wanting the home and then the belongings and the lawnmower, and maybe you can buy an extra couple liters of the paint just in case I smudge the wall and I want to repaint, and that can absolutely have a cumulative effect, and it can absolutely create an erosion of goodwill between the two parties. And that's where we see people digging in, and it then, rather than like Tony described, it's not water flowing, it's not stagnation, it's concrete. It's people dig in and stay in their position, and then it becomes immovable. And that's when your trusted real estate professional has a jackhammer. We're going to figure it out. We're going to deconcrete this scenario, but it makes it very, very challenging to cultivate goodwill amongst the sellers if the buyer is asking for the whole farm, unless you're buying a whole farm, and then that makes sense. So goodwill is absolutely a negotiating asset. Another mistake that I've seen time and again is waiting for the perfect property. Now, there is, without question, an undefinable element of the je ne sais quoi. I'm very sure that people walking into a home can often feel, Tony would be able to attest to this. Same with Jacqueline. You've seen it, you've heard it. People walking in and, I just knew. I just knew. So there is that undefinable je ne sais quoi element to it. But oftentimes people may feel that, and then they get into analysis paralysis. This feels like my place, but the window, and then that fence in the backyard, and they start talking themselves out of something that could be an excellent purchase for them. And with the analysis paralysis and waiting for the perfect property is also, they forget this might just be your first property. This is potentially not your dream retirement home with your hot tub and your lake view. This is a step in the ladder towards progression of your dream home. Often the purchase that you're making is not your forever home. Like dating boys, Mr. Right now instead of Mr. Right. I'm happy with Mr. Right now. Let's proceed with Mr. Right now for a while, 2, 3, 5 years. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can make it yours, you can make it your own, but with too much critical analysis, too much information, and too much doubt, the buyer will find that they start thinking, well, maybe something better will come up. Or maybe because I don't love it, or because I'm feeling insecure, maybe the seller will take a lower price. Or, Jacqueline, this one, maybe interest rates will fall. I'll just wait. They're making an announcement in a couple weeks. Maybe we'll just wait and see what they do. See what the Bank of Canada says. We're just going to wait. I do not recommend that course of action, and here's why. First of all, if you're waiting for the Bank of Canada's interest rate to drop, guess who else is waiting for the Bank of Canada's interest rate to drop? Everybody. Everybody's waiting. So if you have access to a home that ticks all the boxes that you really like, but you're just hesitating, you do risk losing it. And I've seen it happen. And there is a mourning process that buyers have to go through, because once you've lost it, it's gone. And then it's the regret. That home isn't coming back on the market until the new buyer sells it. So we have to move on, or we have to wait 3, 5, however, an undefinable amount of time for that particular home. So understand the cards that are in your hand, understand the situation, understand your purchasing power, and understand it thoroughly. That leads me to the next mistake. Once again, darling Jacqueline is going to absolutely agree with this one. Having your pre-approval, but mistaking your pre-approval for your financing. It's something that I don't see a ton of dialogue happening from buyers when they discuss their financing with me, which is a signal to me that they haven't considered the fact that their pre-approval is not their secured financing. There is a difference. This pre-approval is giving you guideposts, a guideline based on the analysis that your mortgage agent, such as the mortgage honey Ms. Jacqueline Richards, has done for you. They're looking at all of your the ghost in the closet. Like Eric Senego's done your taxes for 6 years. Here is our, very truthful, honest financial disclosure to our mortgage agent. Here is what we can purchase based on these figures. Amazing. Then you call your agent, you call me, and I'm like, okay, we have your number, we have your timeline, we have your preferences, we have your area, we have your type of home. We can rock and roll. Let's get at it. We make an offer, it's accepted. As a buyer, you're so happy. You're like, oh my gosh, what a celebration. I'm finally going to actually get that car that I've wanted to get for so long because it's going to look so good in my driveway and I deserve it. And I'm finally doing the things that I want to do and get in the place that I want. You have just made a very devastating mistake because now you've changed your entire credit report, your credit score, your credit profile. Do not make any big purchases once we have an accepted offer. Buy your groceries, maybe go out to a movie, but do not go hog wild and buy yourself a trip or a car or a motorcycle or pay $20,000 to upgrade your windows before you sell this house. Don't do it, please, because that is the best way to lose your home. And that is the best way to lose your financing, and it will 100% compromise what you really want. It's gonna bite you in the butt in the end. So please do not make any mistakes. Talk to your agent is not your babysitter. Your agent is not your mom. Neither is your either agent, your real estate agent, nor your mortgage agent. But those are conversations you ought to be having. Is it okay if should I buy my new furniture now or should I wait until after closing? Usually the answer, wait until after closing. Just don't do it right now. It's not worth the risk because think about it this way. You've saved for so long. You've saved your money for years and years. You've worked so hard. You've gotten promotion after promotion. You've tucked away all of this money. You've accrued a very reasonable, healthy down payment. Your credit score is amazing. You've paid down the mistakes from when you were in university and you didn't pay that credit card. Now your credit score is fit and proper and looking really good. And you got the house and we've searched and we've looked at 32 properties and you found the one and we've finally worked out all of the kinks. We've worked through the negotiating which pieces of furniture, the possession date, how you've talked to contractors to find out how much is it going to cost to repair the driveway. We've put in so much time and energy and effort, and then you went and bought a $2,000 e-bike. It's all gone. So slow down. I know you're excited. I know you're ready to buy things. I know you're ready to populate your home with beautiful treasures. Slow down. We're not going to do that. We're going to get our keys. We're going to protect our purchase. We're going to make decisions carefully and mindfully. And then let me buy you a really big, beautiful housewarming gift. And then it's celebration time. Do not go crazy. So just to recap a couple of the things I really recommend. Oh, one more thing quickly. Do we have time? Okay. Understand that your financing isn't the conclusion of your costs. If your agent hasn't spoken with you about it yet, and if you're not with me, which you should be, we will have conversations about your closing costs. We need to talk about your legal fees. We need to talk about land transfer tax. We need to talk about insurance. We need to talk about your home inspection. These are all costs that must be factored into your budget. You have right now a definitive amount of money. We need to carve out some space and some wiggle room for these necessary costs. There's no way I'm going to let you buy a house without home inspection. That's just not going to happen, even for a new build. We are getting someone to look under the skirt of the house and say, oh, you know what? These fixes need to be done. We need to protect our purchase and we need to be deliberate about it. Title insurance, there's going to be an appraisal coming your way. These are things that, with all of the education in the world, they're still not commonly discussed for buyers. So I will prepare for you a very thorough chart that will show, based on the purchase price of your home and all of these costs, this is actually how much money you need. This, and if that amount of money falls within Jacqueline's mortgage pre-approval, we're good to go. If it doesn't, we have to adjust something somewhere. So don't make the mistake of assuming that your mortgage pre-approval is all it's going to cost. There are going to be absolutely going to be more expenses that you are responsible for, and your agent, I will walk you through it, not to overwhelm you, but to inform you and prepare you. So to summarize, we want to be sure that we are not overvaluating our leverage, meaning lowballing in a balanced market is not necessarily the best strategy. You want to make sure that your offer strategy aligns with the current market condition. And we always have outliers. We always have that seller who will absolutely refuse to budge. We're not giving an inch. Okay, then we have to have different conversations. Lowballing can absolutely create strained goodwill. We want to maintain goodwill as much as possible because it will serve you in the end. It's not just to be a nice person. Greasing the wheels makes the machine run better. We want to have a positive relationship. We want to have a good dynamic, and we want to be able to give and take. We want to know where we can sacrifice and where we cannot. Do not let yourself get caught up in analysis paralysis. Do not wait for the perfect home when really you're just buying your first one, or you're purchasing post-divorce. Honey, I promise you, your dream home will come, but this may not be it. Given your circumstances, let's just get you somewhere safe and happy. Do not make the mistake of blowing your budget before you close. Please do yourself a favor and do not underestimate the costs post-acquisition after you've purchased. So those are some mistakes that I will help you navigate and avoid. Do as I say and do as I do. So give me a call, reach out to me. My contact card is in the comments. I can help you every step of the way to make sure that your buying process goes very smoothly. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. Kelly,
We have
go
some
ahead.
questions. Yes, Sam.
Hi, Kelly. Thanks for doing your presentation. I have one comment and one question. First of all, the comment. Back when I bought my first house in Nova Scotia many years ago, I did not know when I bought the house that I had to pay for a full tank of oil because it was an oil furnace because I lived in the county. And at that point, I had to actually borrow money from my then girlfriend, my now wife, because I couldn't afford, after all the costs of buying the house, I couldn't afford to pay for the fuel that I had to buy to fill up the tank for the winter coming. So that was quite a surprise to me when I was forced to pay the fuel cost before I could buy the house. And the question is, these days, if somebody offers the request price or the asking price, does the seller have to sell the house to the person that's offering the full price?
That's a great question. The answer is no, they do not. A person can list their home on the market and be offered over their asking price and still decide for whatever reasons not to move forward with the sale. Just like a car, you own your car, you have your vehicle, you have your asset, you advertise it for sale, you get a dealer to represent you because you don't want to think about it, you don't want to do it yourself for a lot of reasons. And someone comes in and offers a great purchase price for your car, you don't have to sell it. Who knows why, right? I have actually seen some very sneaky fellow real estate agents post things for sale, even their own home, just to get a little bit of interest and to kind of capture some buyers. It's a marketing strategy. So they'll post a listing for sale or for lease. It's on Facebook all the time. Actually, my not current or last, but the previous lease client that I worked with, he sent me the photos of the home that we made an offer in and secured from Facebook, represented by a different agent than the one who was actually listing it. So someone posted for lease obviously that agent isn't selling or leasing that home because we're in the middle of securing that transaction with a different agent. So So yes, this is a thing that happens culturally within the industry. This is why you do want to have an agent who has access to all of the details. And no, they don't have to sell the home. Even if you go $200,000 above their asking price, they're under no obligation to sell.
Thank you.
No problem.
That makes for awkward conversations.
Yeah, I'm really used to those. I drink a lot of tea and a lot of coffee. No, I mean it does make for awkward conversations. Normally, whenever I spot that, I alert the true listing agent to what's actually going on. And I have had people change their mind. I've been in negotiations with sellers, representing the buyer, where they pulled it from the property because of various circumstances, an unanticipated illness in the family. They don't actually have time to go through the process. Now they have all hands on deck, has to be focused on the family member who's struggling, for example. So they have it listed, they just haven't pulled it from the market yet, but they can't sell it yet now because something has changed in their life. And sorry. So those are sometimes challenging conversations, but again, it brings the context piece in. People want to understand what's happening. People want to know what's going on. Just like a lease applicant wants to understand, why didn't they pick me? What was it that I can improve? How can I present myself differently? Sometimes you just never know. So closure is not guaranteed, but what is guaranteed is if you're working with me or another great real estate agent, you're going to be brought through the process carefully, full of care, and deliberately with a really good plan. Any
If
other
someone
questions?
if someone makes an offer on a house,
Mhm.
let's say they dealt with Jacqueline, they got the mortgage pre-approved, and everything is right as
Right.
rain, and all of a sudden their financial circumstances, they've signed on the dotted line, they've done the kiss, so to
Mhm.
speak, but they can't complete it because something financially is turned upside down in their life. Are they still obligated to complete the sale?
They are contractually obligated to complete the sale, and this is where we call our lawyers. We've got some really good lawyers on hand. We don't currently have a lawyer in PBX. Sam, I saw you do this for lawyers. They can be expensive, yes, but they can get you out of hot water. You've signed a legal binding contract to purchase the home. There might be damages that you will have to pay. You might have to pay, you might lose your deposit, for example. These are things that do happen. Misfortune does befall. But we need to get you to the right professional to get you through that process. We can't help that it's happened. We can go to Tony for a tuning and try not to have a heart attack within 6 months. We can do that, and we can go to the lawyer and we can say, okay, here's the situation. We can call Jack and say, like, look, what do you have any magic tricks? Do you have a bunny under your hat? What can we do? We explore all of the options, but if at the end of the day you have to default on the purchase, that becomes an issue between the legal representation.
Go ahead there, Sam.
Yes.
The reason I was nodding my head is because I personally have experience with that situation. If you know anything about cottages, often the right of ways and the properties are, like you don't have fences
Access.
like you do. And often they're in contention. And what happened when we bought this cottage many, many years ago now, we did a survey and
Good.
made sure that we knew what the lot lines were and any kinds of issues. When my brother bought a cottage I think it was in the Barrie area, he didn't know there were contentions over the property, and they had put a deposit on, and they found out afterwards that there were, legal fights going on with the neighbors over the property lines,
Mm.
and they backed out, and it cost them, like Kelly said, the deposit that they had put on the property. It was several $1,000s then, and this is like 20 years ago. So probably expect 10 grand probably out of your pocket if you do something like that.
But he saved himself years of headaches. And I mean, this is why we have an entire team in every single real estate transaction. You're not just dealing with an agent, you're dealing with your financier, your mortgage agent, or the bank, if you want to go that route, which I don't recommend. You're dealing with your lawyer, you're dealing with your real estate agent, you're dealing with your home inspector, we're consulting third-party professionals. The title search, you can do a title search well in advance of closing. That's something that I would recommend for atypical and rural properties, is unless it's a really clearly well-established property line, typically the easements, meaning the legal permissions to access the property, are service providers such as hydro, and like the city. So the city has right to access your property. Of course, they have to notify you. So does Ottawa Hydro. If they need to go into your backyard because there's a pole that crosses and they need to access the wires, they have to have the right to access that. But if you do a title search and you find out that my driveway actually isn't my driveway, it's our driveway, that's a surprise. We want to be aware of that. If you discover, oh, I own up to 10 feet before the shoreline. Oh, I don't actually own this. This deck that I have, that the seller has installed, is illegal. These are really critical pieces of information we need to know ahead of time before proceeding with closing. So that's a conversation you can always have. We can always discuss doing title early. You're going to pay for the title search. You're going to pay for it anyway. So a few hundreds or a few $1,000s can help you purchase peace of mind and freedom as well. And
It's
then you
also in
don't have to.
title insurance, no? Is it
Title
also?
insurance, yes, is a separate thing, and that usually goes with your financing. So, and some people choose to proceed with it, some people don't, and that's where we call Key from our Thursday PBX meeting to talk about her insurance possibilities, home insurance, title insurance, things like that. So there's usually a team of service professionals helping in real estate transactions. Any other questions?
Okay.
We're over
Kelly,
time.
thank you.
Sorry, I
Kelly,
talked so
no,
much.
you did great. That was awesome. Good source of information.
Perfect.
It's more than just buying and selling. It's understanding what, once you stick your hand into it, what can be attached to it. Especially title insurance, going, yeah, the city didn't approve that. Good luck. Or you're 10 feet over in the wrong part of the land. Our closing quote is, when you fear something, learn as much about it as you can. Knowledge conquers fear. Edmund Burke.